Chapter 7. Let's make a deal. Genesis 15 and 17. Years later, God still had all those promises, but Abraham still had no son, and he was starting to wonder if God had moved on to plan B. Even though the promises were getting harder to believe, Abraham didn't give up on God. In fact, he did the most important thing anyone can ever do. Abraham believed God, and God counted it to him as righteousness, which is another way of saying God hands out A+ just for taking him at his word. One time, Abraham had a scary dream. It was a dream about smoke and fire passing through a bunch of dead animals. Weird, I know, but people back then used dead animals to make a deal. It was called cutting a covenant. Whoever walked through the animals was promising to keep his end of the bargain, or else be torn apart like cut-up goats and cows. You can see why this was a scary dream. And yet, it was also a wonderful dream, because the smoke and the fire represented God walking through the animal guts. God guaranteed on his own life that he would do for Abraham all the good things he had promised. Sounds stupendous, and it was. God's promises always are, but they don't always come as soon as we'd like. When Abraham turned 99 years old, he didn't have great-grandkids to celebrate with him, or grandkids, or kids of his own, not a one. He probably didn't even have a pet goldfish. But that didn't stop God from making more promises. I'll give you a son. I'll make you a great nation. I'll give you a land. I'll be a God to you and your children. God gave Abraham a special sign called circumcision, so that his family would know they were chosen and loved. God even changed Abraham's name to Abraham, which means father of many nations, just so Abraham wouldn't forget that he would be, well, a father of many nations. But truth be told, Abraham and Sarah weren't so sure the new name really fit. Would they actually have a son when they were old enough to be dead? God knew they would. And so he kept telling the old couple the same thing over and over, the one thing they needed to hear, and the one thing we have a hard time hearing. Just trust me.